Check, Mike motherfucking check. This is Talking About Nothing number 9. Número 9. Bugao crap. It's Talking About Nothing number 9, yet another episode of Real English Radio. I'm your host, Tony Kaizen. I hope y'all are doing good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you find yourself on this planet we call Earth. How y'all doing, man? I hope everything's good with you. Please excuse the background noise. I'm sitting by my window yet again. I'm going to try my best to remove the background noise in post-production and all that. But if it doesn't turn out to be possible, you have my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. And the first thing I want to talk about in this Talking About Nothing, I can't fucking talk today. Give me a second. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the Discord server. Some of y'all may have heard of it, some of y'all might not have heard of it, but let me just make it clear to you right motherfucking now. The Discord server is open to anyone and everyone who would like to join. And maybe you still don't know what I'm talking about. A while back, I opened a Discord community for people who wanted to practice their English with real people, because it's got to be the most common message I get, the most common comment that's left on all my social media, the most common message I get in emails is people saying, damn, well, one of two things. The first one is I can understand a whole lot of English, but I can't speak. And the other one is I really want to practice my English, but I have no one to practice with. Please help me. And these two challenges are really connected, but the reason I created the Discord server was because I can't really replicate myself. I wish I could create a million Tony Kaizens and talk to all of y'all individually, but I obviously can't do that. And a lot of people have tried apps like Hello Talk, like Tandem, like, I don't know, Lingbee. There's a bunch of different apps you can use to try and find people to talk to. But the sad truth is that a lot of people use those apps like dating apps. They're only interested in finding some long distance girlfriend or boyfriend, or they just want attention from people online or whatever. Then you got people who are just fucking lazy, right? Don't really make any effort in the conversation. They expect you to do all the work, ask all the questions, suggest all the topics, you know what I'm saying? And it's exhausting, right? Nobody wants to do that shit every day just to find a partner, let alone keep one and maintain a relationship and actually exchange languages. So I figured, let me open this Discord server, and even if I'm not there all the time, at least it'll be a bunch of people that have something in common. Everybody's either listening to my podcast or following me on social. Everybody wants to learn English. Let me create this community. And so there's some cool people in the community and all that, but a lot of people ended up, well, first of all, a lot of people who subscribed on Patreon never ended up joining the Discord server. So that was one issue, because at first it was only open to my Patreon subscribers. I wanted to keep it private just to keep the quality high, because often when you make something public, you get a lot of fucking nosy people who just want to come in and see what's happening. They have no intention of contributing to the community. They have no intention of actually practicing English, making friends, helping others. They just want to see what's going on. Anything that's free, let me fucking go check it out just to see what's up. So I didn't want that. And then, of course, you run the risk of attracting those kind of people that are just looking for sexual attention like they do on other apps, and I didn't want that either. But after talking to a few of the community members last week, we all decided it would be best to open up the server or the community to the public, because it's just a numbers game. Like, the more people that join, the higher the chance that good people join and actually start participating. And that way everybody wins. Everybody has somebody to talk to. You're meeting people from all around the world, talking about interesting stuff and improving your English, which is the fucking point. Am I right? So yeah, I decided to open it up to everybody. So if you're interested in that, if you're really interested in practicing your English, meeting new people, having a good time, then you can join my Discord server. Just click the link in the description of this episode. But please do not join if you don't have any intention of meeting people, making friends, and making conversation. Don't waste people's time, bro. Please don't. And that might sound harsh. That might sound a bit rude, but like, bro, what is the point of, anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. You know I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful or aggressive, but it's exhausting, bro. It's exhausting as somebody who tries to put in a lot of effort to help people that clearly don't want to be helped. You try to educate people that clearly don't want to be educated. They just want to be entertained, just want something to distract them from the boredom that they're running from, you know? That shit's exhausting. But anyway, hopefully it'll be a good move for the community. Hopefully some cool people will join and y'all can make some friends from around the world. It really is the best way to learn, bro. It's the best way to learn a language is by joining a community of like-minded people who everybody's trying to achieve the same goal. You know what I'm saying? We'll have weekly events. So every week, 2 or 3 times a week, we'll get on the voice channels to practice speaking with each other. But during the week, you can send voice messages, text messages, share videos and memes and fucking music, whatever you want. Whatever you want. Really just trying to create a cool little space on the internet where people can actually practice their English with no problems. And ladies, I'm talking to y'all too. I know that a lot of girls have joined in the past and actually said to me personally that they were kind of apprehensive. They were a little nervous about it. They weren't so interested because what if most of the people in the server are guys? And what if these guys start trying to flirt with me and start sending inappropriate messages and all that? But ladies, just trust your boy, all right? I don't tolerate that shit. Anybody who's breaking the rules or disrespecting other members, immediately kicked out of the fucking community, never to come back, all right? So just trust your boy. I got you, all right? So yeah, click the link in the description, join the Discord server, and start practicing your English, bro. I guarantee if you just start talking to people, at least 50% of your struggles with English will just disappear. That's just the way it is. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to y'all about, something that I really struggle to understand, is sticking with the topic of social media and shit, which I mentioned briefly a second ago. I don't know what your social media feed looks like, bro, but lately I've just been seeing so many videos on TikTok, on Instagram, so many tweets, so many posts on Threads, YouTube videos of just men and women shitting on each other, bro. Like the battle of the sexes. Men are trash. Men are misogynistic fucking pigs, the scum of the earth. Men haven't done anything for society. The world would be a better place without men. Men, please stop approaching women. Stop talking to us at the gym. Stop talking to us in the streets. Leave us the fuck alone, you dangerous, misogynistic pieces of shit. We don't like you. We don't want you. We don't need you. Like, where the fuck is that coming from, bro? Same thing with the men. All these one Andrew Tate wannabe fucking little boys just shitting on women. All these fucking girls are a bunch of gold digging hoes. These sluts, these bitches, these whores. Fuck these bitches, bro. They just want you for your money. They're superficial and blah blah. It's like, where? How did this become? How did this become the fucking, national or international discourse? What the fuck, bro? I don't know. Again, I don't know what your feed is like. All I can speak about is what I see on social media and what I hear, what I've heard for many years in the States. I'm sure it's the same from Canada all the way down to Argentina. I don't know about Europe, although I'm sure it's the same in Western Europe. Honestly, I'm sure it's the same in any modern city, because another thing that I've noticed is people around the world are consuming social media at an alarming rate. And a lot of them are consuming shit that comes from the US. And a lot of people don't understand how media affects their perception of the world, or how it affects what they believe. Hang on. Or how it affects what they believe about the world. So they're just consuming all this American media from all these single, miserable little fucking bitches. And I don't mean women. When I say bitch, I mean miserable human being. A fucking lame. A twerp. All these miserable little bitches. Mad because they can't get what they want out of life, so they get online and start projecting their insecurities onto other people. Single, miserable women who can't get or keep a man just get online and start talking shit about men. Single or miserable men who can't get or keep a woman, so they just get online and start talking shit about women. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck is that? Somebody help me understand this shit. I just don't understand how it's productive. I don't understand how that's helping anybody. How a generation of women are teaching their daughters that men are trash and not to be trusted, and men are dangerous, and they're all fucking misogynistic, and they look at you like sex objects. To teach young women to think about men in that way, how do you think that's helping anybody, bro? That doesn't help men, or more importantly, women. For a bunch of men to teach an entire generation of boys that women ain't shit and they're good for nothing but sex, they were put on this earth to serve you, you are the prize, and all this stupid shit, like, bro, how does that help anybody? What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? It's so weird. It's so weird to me. And again, it's usually single, miserable motherfuckers. You never see people who are married, happily married with children, wives and husbands, online talking shit about the opposite sex. You never see that. Because they're happy. You know what I'm saying? They're not on fucking TikTok, bro. They're at home taking care of their fucking children. And this what's so dangerous about that is because, again, we're talking about Gen Z. Well, not even just Gen Z, bro. It's all generations at this point, unfortunately. But specifically Gen Z and whatever's coming after that, Gen Alpha or whatever they call them. These young, inexperienced, impressionable people spending all of their time on social media getting life advice from other young, inexperienced, and impressionable people. You understand what I'm saying? It's so dangerous, bro. It's so dangerous. And they won't even realize until they're about 36 that they were taking life advice from the wrong people. They were taking life advice from people who had not achieved what they wanted to achieve in life, which was finding a partner, starting a family, living happily. You know what I'm saying? Why would you take relationship advice from somebody who has never successfully maintained a relationship? Why would you take advice on how to deal with and treat men from a woman who can't keep a fucking man? Same thing for the guys. Why would you take advice on women from a dude who doesn't respect or value women? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? It's like fucking trendy. It's fashionable now to talk shit about the opposite sex as if they're worthless human beings. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. It's like, as a guy, you think you're cool if you say, yeah, fuck these bitches, they ain't shit, I'm fucking 7 different bitches, I'm on Tinder and that. Like, bro, you's a bitch, bro. If you hate and disrespect women, you are a bitch. Same thing with women. If you hate and disrespect and trash men, you are a piece of shit. I don't understand when that became cool. Like, what the fuck, dog? And let me extend an olive branch here, bro. Let me give these people the benefit of the doubt. I understand, ladies. I understand. There are a lot of fucking shitty dudes out there. There are a lot of misogynistic dudes. Dudes that don't know how to treat women. Disrespectful guys. Creepy dudes, right? That sexually assault and harass women, fucking rapists and all that shit. I get it. But to get online and then start teaching other women to believe that all men are like that, how does that help anybody? First of all, it is not true, which goes without saying. But how does that help anybody to spread that idea across the internet? Just because your love life isn't going well, or because you keep running into piece of shit ass men. That doesn't mean all men are pieces of shit. How is that logical, bro? Or fellas, just because you got your heart broken by a fucking whore, you're gonna go around saying all women are whores now? Like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Everybody's speaking in such generalistic, stereotypical terms to make themselves feel better about their poor decisions when choosing a partner. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That shit is exhausting to listen to. It's just, oh man. And it's not going to end well. It's not like men and women treating each other like enemies is not going to end well. That's what I'm saying. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for anybody. And this is what I don't like, how people don't understand this. Men and women complement each other, bro. We complement each other. We're not made to be enemies. I don't like we complement each other. And I think we figured that out a long time ago, thousands of years ago. We figured that out. We're best when we work together. Like, am I tripping or something, bro? Am I from another planet right now, bro? We complement each other. Just like every other species on the planet, the male and the female complement each other. They need each other, just like men need women, and women need men. You know how many fucking videos I've seen, bro, of young women getting, well, not, I mean, women of all ages, which is even worse. Women of all ages getting online and saying that we don't need men, that men are useless, men have never done anything for society, the world would be better without men. Do you know how many fucking videos? It's like, where are you getting this information? That's what I want to know, is where the fuck are you getting this information, bro? It's like, who built the fucking house that you sleep in every night? Tell me that. Who built the roads that you drive down every goddamn day, or the car that you sit in, or the phone that you use to talk shit about men? What about the social network that you use to tweet nasty shit about men? Who built that? Fuck is you talking about? Men are useless, bro. Men built society for women. Like, what are you talking about? Men would be sleeping in the fucking dirt, playing football with rocks if women didn't exist. But just because men love and value and want to please women so much, they built society. You understand that? I'm not trying to get controversial, or, you know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of sensitive motherfuckers out there these days, but that has nothing to do with me, bro. I'm just telling you what I think. You don't have to agree. That's the way I see it. It's like all of this shit. Look out your fucking window. Who do you think built all of that shit? Who do you think did that? Talking about men are useless, bro. Come on, bro. Let's grow the fuck up. You know, talking about women are useless, bro. Who the fuck raised you, bro? How did you get here? The fuck is you talking about? Jesus Christ. I can't stand it, bro. I can't stand to listen to men and women talk shit about the opposite sex as if we're enemies or something, working against each other. It's like, bro, do you just like secretly want to... Never mind. Never mind. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. These miserable people just projecting their misery onto the world because they can't get their shit together. It has to stop, bro. It has to stop. Because you may think, oh, I don't need a fucking man. I'll just get a dog. I'll get some cats. It's like, all right, bro. If you say so. If you say so. I don't know your life. I don't know what you're going through. Maybe you're better off that way. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm just saying it's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid to treat the opposite sex as if they're the enemy, knowing deep down it's the only thing that you fucking want because you were literally built for that. And I understand some people are gay, so there's lesbians, there's bisexual. I get all that. You understand my point, bro. Don't fucking go there. You understand my point. All right? We complement each other. That's all I'm saying. Talking is, oh, dude, I'm being repetitive at this point. I'm just saying I don't get it. It's stupid. It's stupid. And ladies, if you're around women that are constantly shitting on men, I would just say do some fucking investigative work and figure out why that is. You know? Because I'm willing to bet that she has some part to play in her miserable fucking movie that is her life. Same thing with guys. Guys, if you're constantly around other dudes that are always shitting on women, do a bit of investigation. Figure out how his life is really going. There's got to be a reason they're talking that way. You know what I mean? You can't just take the sad story about how their heart was broken or they were cheated on or done so wrong and think, oh my God, this poor little victim. You're right. Men are trash. You're right. Women are fucking whores and pieces of shit. Like, come on, bro. Come on. All right? Let's get it together, y'all. We don't have much time left. We don't have much time left to get it together, bro. That's all I'm saying. Jesus Christ. But I don't want to make this episode about Men and women. This is talking about nothing. It's just like something that was on my mind. I've done a couple episodes about relationships recently, and when doing research for the episodes, listening to different people's opinions, different perspectives and shit, you just see so much fucking nonsense. It's like, how do you think, how is it that you really believe, how did you arrive at the point where you thought it was cool to get on the internet and just shit on the opposite sex when deep down you're sad because the opposite sex either doesn't want you or isn't interested in you, or you just haven't found a good partner yet. You don't know how to choose a good partner, you know? We could go so deep into that shit, bro. I'm gonna talk to my brother Mateos. He's gonna hop on the pod. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm not gonna say when, but hopefully sometime soon. And I'm gonna chop it up with him about this topic as well. I think it's much better when we have conversations about this stuff as opposed to me just like ranting by myself, because then we can get more than one perspective, two people who think in different ways and stuff like that. I think it'll be better. So be on the lookout for that. We'll just save it until then. I'm just saying, bro. Fucking A, man. Fucking A. It's just so exhausting, bro. Men are fucking misogynistic pieces of shit. All men view women as sex objects. These little fucking pigs. It's like, bro, you really believe that, bro? Do you really believe that? And if so, even more important, why do you think that is? Even if that's true, which is not. Even if that's true, why do you think that is? You really believe it's just because men are born evil, misogynistic pigs and they all view women as sex objects? Or do you think maybe, just maybe, your fellow women has something to do with that? Guys, why do you think there are so, like, if you really believe all women are sluts or gold digging whores, superficial pieces of shit, why do you think that is? You think it's just women are born that way? Or do you think maybe guys had something to do with that as well? Like, the fuck are we talking about? And that's the issue, is now it's just like everybody's speaking in fucking headlines. Like newspaper headlines. Here's my fucking hot take to get a reaction out of people. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to use facts or logic or defend my ideas. I just say shit that sounds good. And anybody who tries to challenge or disagree with me is stupid or the enemy or whatever the fuck. I'm gonna just call them names to invalidate whatever it is they're saying. So fucking stupid. We are better than that, bro. Anyway, let me hop off of that fucking topic. Let me hop off of that shit. Another thing, the Euros are coming up. By the time this episode gets released, they might have already started. When do the Euros start? I think June 15th. Are y'all interested in that? I know a lot of y'all like football, just like me. If you know anything about me, you know I love football. If you don't know anything else, you may not even know where I'm from, and you know I love football. So I know some of y'all are the same. Who do y'all got winning the Euros this year, bro? I honestly can't call it. And when somebody says, well, at least where I'm from, I would say in Ebonics, which you probably know as Black English, but also Southern English across the board, we often say, I can't call it. When somebody says that, it's just like, I don't have the answer. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? It's like, who do you think's going to win this championship? Shit, man, I can't call it. It means I don't know. I can't give you a definitive answer because I don't know. I can't call it. It's also just another way of saying, like, if somebody says, hey, what's up, bro? Like when you see somebody, you're meeting your friends or somebody in the street, somebody says, hey, what's up, bro? In the South, well, not just in the South, but some people, depending on their cultural background, if a friend says, hey, what's up, bro? I'll say, shit, I can't call it. As a response, it's the same thing as saying nothing. Or so, shit, I'm just chilling, you know, same old. Shit, I don't know, I can't call it, player, you feel me? It's just like, it don't even really mean anything. It's like, I don't know, you tell me, what's up? Tell me something good, you know? So, getting back to the Euros, I can't call it, bro. I don't know who's going to win. I really don't even have, like, a deep interest in international football like that. Like, the World Cup, obviously, I'll watch, but Euros or... what's the other one? What's the American version of that, where all the American countries compete? What's it called? CONCACAF or something like that? I can't remember. I'm not interested in that shit. as much as club football. Let me say it that way. So I don't even know enough about the national teams to say who's got the best chance of winning. Obviously, Germany is a constant favorite. Spain, England, France. But I don't know. I don't know. One thing I do know is that I said this. I was on TikTok live earlier talking about football for whatever reason, and somebody asked me a football related question, and as I was talking about it, I realized like we're finally witnessing the changing of the guard, which basically means, how would I explain the changing of the guard? The people who used to be in the top position are now being replaced by someone else. And what I mean is like for decades now, the past 1 or 2 decades, we've seen a particular set of players known as the world's best, the leaders of football, whether it's Messi and Ronaldo, or of course I go blank when I try to give you some fucking examples. Messi, Ronaldo, Iniesta, Busquets, um, who else, bro? Tony Kroos just retired, bro. Broke my fucking heart. Luka Modric, Ibrahimovic. You get the idea now. That generation of footballers, all of them are starting to retire, man, and we're finally starting to see the next generation rise to the top and take over the main stage. You know, Kobe Mainu, Endrick from Brazil is looking good. Vinny Jr., um, Rodrigo, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden is a fucking beast. Who else, man? There's so many. But yeah, that generation of footballers is now starting to occupy the main stage. It's who everyone's talking about these days as the legends retire one by one, you know? Which is cool, man. It's actually cool. It makes us sad because we spent so many years watching these fantastic players, but you know, the end comes for all of us, right? So it is cool to see that change and see the next generation step up as we step into the next decade of football. And what I will say, speaking about European teams, what's always been disappointing is that the England squad, particularly, has just never been able to fucking get it together, bro. There's so many talented English players, so many talented young English players, but there are just no leaders. There's no leader on the pitch, in the dressing room, you know? You could say that about so many teams these days that have so much young talent. Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea is another good example. I watch Premier League, so those are the teams that come to mind. But yeah, so many talented players on these teams, but so few leaders on these teams. So few true captains leading the team, holding everyone together, setting a standard. You know, so you have all these young players who grew up in a time where it's much easier to be a star because you have the internet and a cell phone. So everybody wants to be popping on Instagram. Everybody wants to be a celebrity and not a footballer. Does that make sense to you? So much more about being the star than it is about being good at what you do, if that makes any sense. And I think that's what England is missing as a national team. I think that's what Manchester United is missing. I think that's what Chelsea is missing, is just a real leader on the pitch. That's one thing that certainly seems to have died as all the older legends begin to retire, is just no fucking pure footballers about their fucking business, holding it down. You feel me? It's a bunch of young boys focused on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and shit. I'm generalizing, obviously. I don't mean to be disrespectful to all the youngers out there grinding. I'm just saying, we need some fucking leadership, dude. On the pitch. What do y'all think? Anyway, I can't call it, bro. I don't know who's going to win the Euros. I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say it's going to be Germany or France. Because they got so much firepower. So much firepower. And the French and German teams particularly, whenever I've watched them play, they play as a team. They play as a team, which is how you win football matches. Obviously, there are some stars on certain teams that can just take control of the entire game and go and score 2 and 3 goals by themselves. but you can't win a World Cup like that. You can't win the Euros like that. You know what I'm saying? Very rarely does one player carry an entire team throughout a competition. The last time I saw that was David De Gea for Manchester United. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus Christ. So many, I think it was like a good 2 or 3 seasons. He just carried that entire fucking team, bro. If it wasn't for him, we would have finished in much worse positions. We would have lost so many more games. Jesus Christ. So depressing to see what's happened at United, bro, since Fergie left. Just a decade of misery. Constantly switching managers, bullshit ass owners that only give a fuck about the money. They're not investing in the club. They know nothing about football, you know what I'm saying? It's so depressing. While the blue side of Manchester got that fucking fantastic oil money investment, bought all the right players, hired a world-class manager, one of the best to ever become a manager. Guardiola is just incredible, man. What he's done with that club, it's incredible. He actually makes players better. This is the mark of a great manager, amongst many other things. One very clear indicator that a manager is great is that whether or not the player stays long term, while that player is playing under this particular manager, he is a better player. I think Raheem Sterling is a great example of that. When you look at how he was playing at Liverpool, you could tell he had talent. He was fast, beating defenders. He had the natural talent to become a great footballer, but just wasn't reaching his potential at Liverpool. Then he moved to City, and under Pep, he looked like a different player, bro. Looked like a different player, and unfortunately, didn't rise to the levels or the expectations that Pep set for him. Not that I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking from the outside looking in. And he had to move on, but he was a better player under Guardiola. And you could say that about so many players, bro. And that's another thing, as I mentioned with France and Germany, like the national teams, they play as a team. They play as a unit. And Manchester City is one of the only teams in the Premier League that does that. There's a clear philosophy that has been instilled in the players. Every player on the pitch knows what their job is. Every player on the pitch can play in multiple positions because they know how the system works. And not only that, but even if they all don't love each other like brothers, you can tell they are a team. No matter who scores, they're all celebrating together. Whereas in many other teams, you got a bunch of hating ass niggas on the same team where one dude scores, and if it wasn't me, I'm not celebrating. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that dude. I didn't score, so I'm not going to celebrate because it's not a team. They're not together. Everybody's just out for their fucking selves. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just my perception. And City's one of the only teams that plays as a team. Pep is one of the only coaches that, of course, has owned, like, people who own City have the money to go out and buy the world's best players, and many other clubs don't have that. But I think he was lucky enough to be placed at City with owners that have the money to invest, that actually listen to his recommendations and buy the players that he wants to fit his system. He built a team around his philosophy as opposed to just buying expensive players that sell t-shirts. You see what I'm saying? And that's why they win. That's why it works. Because everybody's on the same fucking page. Everybody's got to be on the same page, bro. Jesus Christ. It's just, I don't know. It's disappointing. That's why I like watching second division English football a lot more than Premier League. Not because they have better players or better coaches or anything like that, but just the level of intensity and the love for the game seems to be stronger. The players seem to be hungrier than players in the Premier League. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. It just seems like in the Premier League, a lot of teams are just trying not to lose. Whereas in the second division, teams are trying to win. And to me, there's a difference. So second division tends to be more exciting. The game is faster, more aggressive, just more entertaining to watch. You know what I mean? Players who have something to fucking fight for. Speaking of something to fight for, this is something that I've never expressed to somebody with words, but I think about quite often when I'm watching anime or TV series or movies and shit, and I'm curious to know what y'all think about this, but I just find it so moving. I find it so moving watching somebody fight for another person as opposed to fighting for themselves. You know what I mean? Like the anime scene or the movie scene where there's a threat to somebody's existence, or there's a threat to the existence of somebody that the main character loves, and for that reason the main character goes out and fights even harder, even stronger, even more aggressively, because he's not fighting for himself. He's fighting for the person that he loves, or his friend, or his family, or something like that. I really believe, if not all of us, most of us are stronger when we have someone to fight for, something more important than ourselves, or someone more important than ourselves. I believe that we fight harder and longer and more aggressively. And I don't know what it is. It's just moving to see that. Somebody who's willing to sacrifice themselves, not in a meaningless way, but sacrifice what it is that they want so that somebody that they love can have it better, you know? Like the countless people that will abandon their country and everything that they've known their entire lives, move to another country just for a better opportunity and work fucking 18 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week, just to give their children an opportunity to have a good life, you know? That shit is moving, bro. I don't know. It's moving. It's such a beautiful thing to see. Especially in a time where, at least in the West, I can't speak about the whole world, but in the West, everybody's so goddamn self-obsessed, self-centered. It's all about me. It's so moving when you see somebody who is genuinely fighting for someone other than themselves. You know what I mean? Fighting for someone they love or care about. Fighting for a mission that's bigger than themselves. That shit is moving. It's very admirable, you know? And I think it takes strength. And again, I'm not talking about the people that sacrifice themselves so that they can be remembered as heroes or some bullshit like that, because that's still self-obsessed. That's all ego. It's all about how you want to be remembered and how you want people to talk about you at your fucking funeral, which to me just never made sense, bro. I remember even when I was a kid, I used to talk to my dad about shit like that, and he said, what I care about is what people say about me when I'm at my funeral. I want them to say I was a good guy. I want them to say this and that and all this positive shit. And I just, even as a kid, bro, I was like 9 or 10 years old, maybe 11 years old, thinking to myself, like, bro, you're going to be dead. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit what people say about you when you're dead? What are they saying about you right now? How do people feel about you when your name comes up in conversation? How many people defend your name when you're not in the room, but people are talking shit about you? That to me matters so much more than what they say about you once you're dead. Everybody's got positive shit to say once you're dead, you know? And half of those people are only saying it because it makes them look good, not because they actually feel positively about you. And I know that's a pessimistic kind of cynical view of things, but it's what I think. So I just never understood that. It's just all ego, bro. It's all about like me and my reputation and what people think about me. It's like, bro, who gives a shit? Who cares? I never understood that. Well, I can't say it that way. I just never, I could never subscribe to that way of thinking. Also, karma, right? We were talking about this in my Thai classes a couple of weeks ago, because here in Thailand, I would say the majority of people claim to be Buddhists. And obviously, a big part of Buddhism is the belief in the idea of karma. If you do good things will be done to you. If you put out positivity, positivity will come back to you. Same thing with bad things and negativity. Whatever you put out is what you get back, right? And although, like, I don't know if that's a real thing, I can't say. I don't know how all that shit works really. And if you ask me, none of us really know. I think most of us believe what we believe because we were taught to believe those things, but that's a whole nother conversation. What I'm saying is the idea of karma. We were talking about that in class, and my teacher was explaining to me that she believes you should do what's right. You should do good things and treat people well so that you, when you die and get reincarnated, you will have a better life. That's the reason that you should treat people well and do good things while you're here on this earth. Which to me just sounds so self-serving, bro. I don't mean to be a dick or cynical, like I said. But it's like, personally, I believe in doing what's right because it's right. I don't give a fuck if my next life is better or worse because of that. Like, that's not doing what's right That's not even doing what's right. That's doing what's best for you. You know what I mean? That's the only reason that you treat people well or do kind things for other people is so that you can get some good karma and have a better life later, like 10 years from now or in your next incarnation, if you believe in that kind of thing, or so that you can go to heaven and not go to hell. How is that good? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Because you're only thinking about yourself and what you can get out of something. It's a transaction. That's what I'm saying, is it seems transactional. I'm only doing these good things because of what I'm going to get out of it on the back end. It's a fucking transaction. You know? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply about it and it's not that serious. I'm just saying I don't think that way. I don't live that way. You just do what's right because it's right, bro. You know? It's like, how could you possibly know? I don't want to offend anybody. I know some people are really fucking sensitive about their religion and shit. But how could you possibly know what happens after you die? How could you possibly know that? How could anybody know that? I'm genuinely asking, bro. I'm not trying to be a dick here. I'm just asking, like, how could you know? I mean, the beauty of this life is, in most places, you're free to believe whatever you want to believe. So, I'm not trying to, like, convince you to think or believe anything different. I'm just out here asking questions, fam. I'm just out here asking questions. How do you know? I don't know. I'm gonna stay away from religion though, bro. 'Cause it gets a little hairy very quickly. So many people are so sensitive about their beliefs. But I'm not, bro. I don't give a shit. I want to be proven wrong. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm walking around believing something that is just not true, I want somebody to tell me that. If I'm walking around saying stupid shit, I want to know about that. I want somebody to tell me, please correct me. And there's a difference. Moving on to another subject, there's a difference between correcting somebody and trying to make somebody feel stupid. A lot of people think those are one and the same. Like, you can correct somebody or encourage them to think differently without shitting all over them and what it is they used to believe. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think a lot of people get wrong, especially online, of course, because most people, well, how can I say that? Well, it's just what it is. Like, online, there's really no value in having. It's actually impossible to have real debates on social fucking media. And so people get on there with their hot takes and their emotional opinions and shit, so quick to tell everybody why they're wrong and stupid and this and that, instead of correcting people and saying, hey, I understand where you're coming from. I completely understand your line of thinking, but here's some new information that you maybe hadn't considered before. What do you think about that? Or actually, I know this is what you believe, but my resources, my information sources say differently. What do you think about that? To me, that's much better than, you fucking idiot, actually is this, you stupid ass, uneducated, primitive American. uh, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I gotta find some fucking. Sometimes before I do talking about nothing, I'm like, what's some positive shit that I can leave with these people? Because I end up just ranting about all the shit that irritates me. All the shit that irritates me on a day-to-day basis. I don't know how some of y'all deal with people, man. There's such a fucking energy suck, you know? It takes so much energy, bro. I have so much respect for people who are truly kind to other people. And I don't mean nice or polite. I mean kind. There's a difference. Because a lot of people are very polite, you know? They force themselves to smile when you look at them, and they say nice words to avoid offending you and shit like that. That's one thing. But truly being kind and patient and understanding and empathetic, showing restraint, you know? That's kindness, and that takes real strength, bro. It takes real strength not to blast somebody in the face for saying some sideways shit when you have every right and reason to do so. That takes strength to choose your words carefully, you know? to recognize you're talking to a fucking idiot, and therefore you need to be patient and try to educate this person. And if they refuse to be educated, just move the fuck on. That takes strength, you know? It took me a long time to realize that being mean and aggressive and being overly direct is not a sign of strength or intelligence. It's a sign of weakness, bro. You're a bitch. Just being combative with everybody, not giving a fuck about anyone's feelings or opinions or culture or way of life, and it's just all about you and you know everything. You're a bitch, bro. Fucking weak. It's people who show restraint. People who are capable of great evil and destruction and aggression, but choose to control it and still treat people with kindness and respect every day, regardless of their position or their status or their income or their sex or their nationality. That takes strength. I have so much respect for people like that. Because it's not easy, bro. So if you're one of those people, man, you have my respect. Hats off to you, bro. Because that shit is hard. It really is. Especially these days, goddamn. Am I the only one that feels that we're getting fucking dumber? we're all getting dumber by the goddamn day. Jesus. Yeah. But you know, it's easy for me to say that. It's like you have to be part of the solution, not part of the problem, because just sitting and talking shit about it isn't really helping anything, right? Which is why I think no matter what I do in the future, I'll always want to find some way to invest in education. I know this podcast might not always seem like it. It may not always sound like it, but it is in some kind of way an investment in education, trying to make people think outside of the box, give somebody different ideas to consider, a different way of looking at life, considering things they may have never considered before, teaching them things that their parents or their brothers and sisters or their community never taught them. That's really important, bro. Education is so important. Because the way you were educated dictates what you think and believe, which dictates how you act in this world. And I'm not saying all problems could be solved with education, but so many of them certainly could. So many of them, you know? And, you know, it's funny to think about that, too, because even if we standardize education, which I don't think is possible, because every country has its own culture. And a country's culture is going to determine how they think about education, what they think they should be teaching young boys and girls. So even if a country standardizes its education, we teach everyone the same exact thing, regardless of whether they're rich or poor, black or white, young or old, whatever. We teach them all the same thing. Even if that happens, the country right next door has a different culture, so they're going to be teaching their children different things. And I'm not saying that we should just have one universal culture where everybody operates under the same cultural norms. I'm not saying that would be the solution either. What I'm saying is it's interesting to think about the fact that we may never get to a point where we're all on the same level in terms of education or values or morals, because our cultures are just different. I don't know, man. It's interesting to think about. It's really interesting to think about. Because I'm one of those people that believes that children are the future. And if we're not educating them properly, then everyone's fucked. And it's so easy to say, well, public education is trash and this and that. But most of us aren't really doing anything to change that. And most of us aren't teaching kids shit at home. We just give them phones and tell them to be quiet. And somebody's educating these kids. I said this on the podcast before. Almost word for word, I've said this. So somebody's teaching our kids, you know? And oftentimes it's not even us, which is a scary fucking thing to think about, bro. It's scary to think about. And that's why I value education, because an educated society is better for everyone involved, except the manipulative fucking sociopaths that want to maintain control. And those are the only people that don't benefit from an educated society, bro. So, anyway, that's why I think podcasting, I think books and blog posts and all that, anything where somebody's sharing their ideas, their unfiltered, raw ideas with the world, I think that shit is so important. I think expressing oneself is so important. And I don't mean you have to say everything you think and feel on some therapy shit. I'm just saying expressing what you think about life, what you think about values and morals and society and where the world is going. Sharing your ideas is important. Having your ideas challenged is important. This is how we learn from each other. This is how we make progress. So if I don't do anything else, like even if I were to win the lotto tomorrow and I was a multimillionaire, I would find some innovative way to start investing in education. I would probably just dedicate time to hiring the world's smartest people, to redesigning the public education system, to teach kids shit that they actually need to know, to be productive members of society in 2024 and beyond. As cliche and obvious as that sounds. And I think that one small thing we can do in the meantime is shit like this. Getting back to what I was saying, podcasting, books, and things like that, sharing ideas in a structured way is very important. Sitting down to figure out what it is you really think and why you think those things, and then explaining that to the world for them to digest, and then go and share that with other people, and it creates this chain reaction. I think that shit's important, man. I really do, which is why I love podcasting so much, because I'm not necessarily the guy that likes to be on camera and wants to be the star of the show. I've never really been that dude. Writing is frustrating because it takes so goddamn long, just like reading. But if I can just cut on the mic and just talk and say everything I got to say, then it's perfect. And you can listen to it while you're on your motorcycle, riding through the city, at the gym, doing your dishes or whatever, and you're just consuming interesting ideas, man, that change the way you think. I think about how many things you've heard me say on this podcast that changed the way you think about some aspect of life. How many books you've read. I hope y'all are reading books, bro. Jesus Christ. I hope y'all are reading books anyway, or how many movies you've seen or whatever that you consume that just changed the way you thought about life. How many conversations you've had with people who even disagreed with you but taught you something. And just think how much dumber you would be if you spent your whole life only talking to people who agreed with the way you think currently. Everybody shares the same culture and mindset and beliefs and all that shit. It's like that's good to maintain a society if we all have the same cultural norms and values. I understand that. But a society that is free of independent critical thought is a society that's destined for fucking stupidity. It's going to be stuck in the past, you know what I mean? It's another thing that I think seems to be misunderstood about politics, at least speaking about American politics, because we have a two-party system, right? Which is the Democrats and the Republicans, the left and the right, the fucking liberals and the conservatives, and we treat the shit like it's Real Madrid and Barcelona as if we're enemies fighting against each other, when in reality, you need both. You need both. The conservatives hold everything in place. They make sure that order is maintained, right? That certain morals and values and norms are maintained so that all this shit doesn't fall into complete anarchy and chaos. We need conservatives thinking rationally and critically about things that should stay the same, protecting us from ourselves like good parents. But on the other hand, you need progressives, you need liberals, you need people who believe in independent thought, freedom of expression, freedom to experiment and try new things, the bravery and the courage to change things that are clearly wrong in society so that we can progress. That's why they're called progressives, forward-thinking people that can vision, or envision, I should say, a better future, a better version of our society. You need both. Because if you only have progressives, then everything's changing all the time, way too fast, and it's all based on emotion, just how you feel in the moment, and this should be changed, so we're going to change it. Next week you feel differently, so you're going to change it to something else. Like, if we only have that, it's fucking chaos. We need stability, which is why we need conservatives. But if we only have conservatives, nothing ever changes. So whoever's in power is going to stay in power. Whatever the social norms are right now is how they will always be, because nobody's ever going to challenge those norms or ways of thinking. So we need both. The same way men need women and women need men, right? The same way, man. I'm not going to go down that road. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, you need both. This all or nothing black and white way of thinking is not productive in every aspect of our lives. lives, Jesus, in every aspect of our life or lives. You know what I'm trying to say. It's not productive, bro. Life is gray. It's not black and white. And so with all my fucking mindless ranting, what I'm saying or encouraging you to do is talk to people, bro. Enough of this, hey, how you doing, where you're from, how old are you, what do you do for a living bullshit. Start talking about shit that matters, bro. Let's talk about life, you know? Like, do y'all not think about this shit? I know you think about this shit. Otherwise, you would never listen to the Talking About Nothing episodes. All I do is rant about random, interesting things that affect all of us, that we all can relate to in this crazy thing we call life. I know some of y'all think about this shit. And I just think it'd be better if we all started talking about it. If we stopped being so goddamn afraid of each other. If we stopped being so goddamn afraid of offending other people. If we stopped being so fucking sensitive and getting offended by every goddamn thing we hear. And we just listened to each other. And I'm not even talking just about politics. Just about life, bro. Just talking about life. Just shooting the shit. Exchanging ideas. Seeing things from different perspectives. Life would be so much better for all of us, bro. We'd all have so many more friendships and relationships. We'd understand each other better. We'd have more respect for each other. And I don't mean to paint some utopian vision of what the world could be. None of that fucking nonsense. It's what I really believe. Because I've lived it. I've experienced it, bro. Been to so many places and talked to so many people and learned so much from just listening to people who come from a different walk of life, who see the world in a different way. We have different life experiences, man. You learn so much. You start to understand people and the things they say and do so much better. And you can't do that when you're sitting in a fucking echo chamber. You feel me? And maybe you don't know what that is. An echo chamber is essentially, it's this room or chamber, very similar. It's this room in which everything that you say echoes back to you. Now, an echo is a sound that gets bounced off of a surface and reflected back to the place that it came from. So if you're in this big empty room and you go, woo, that sound is going to exit your mouth, bounce off of the wall, and then back into your ears, and you're going to hear it again. The sound is going to echo. So an echo chamber is this room in which everything you say just echoes endlessly, again and again and again and again and again. So if you get on social media and you have one particular political belief, TikTok is going to learn that about you and start to show you a bunch of other videos just validating the belief that you have. A bunch of other videos of people saying the same shit again and again and again. So your thoughts that you put out in your video are going to echo back to you endlessly. That's an echo chamber. What I'm trying to remember is what I was saying that for. Why I was telling you that. Oh yeah, you can't learn anything sitting in a fucking echo chamber, bro. That's what I'm saying. So I don't even know how we doing on time, but I'm gonna leave you with that, bro. If I can put your phone down, or if you're gonna use your phone, use it to talk to people, bro. Try to learn something today. Join the Discord server. Start some conversations. You know, just talk to people about interesting shit. Be humble. Learn to listen. Try to learn something. Try to see life from a different perspective. You already know what you think. So why not listen to what somebody else thinks and try to learn something new? That's just the way I see it, man. But I guess that's a good place to go ahead and shut it down, my friend. This has been yet another episode of Real English Radio, another Talking About Nothing, number 9 in the books. I am your host, Tony Kaizen, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.